Today in this video we are going to talk about the 13 categories of disabilities under IDEA. In that we are concentrating about the deafness. My name is again Anju Reddy Naramanapu. I am a special education teacher and a IEP case manager. Here in this video, the first one we discussed about in my previous video, which is Individual with Disabilities Education Act, 13 different categories under which 3 to 21 years olds are eligible for special education services. Those 13 categories are, the first one is autism spectrum disorder, deaf and blindness, deafness, emotional disturbance, hearing impairments, intellectual disability, multiple disabilities, orthopedic impairment, other health impairment, specific learning disability, speech or language impairments, traumatic brain injury, visual impairments. In my previous videos, we discussed about the autism spectrum disorders and blindness. Today we are talking about the deafness. Before we talk about that, we want to talk about a little bit about the hearing mechanism. In this, the actual organ of the hearing is the cochlea in the inner ear. So the ear has three different parts. One is outer ear, middle ear and inner ear. So in the inner ear, there is a part called cochlea. That is the main thing that helps us to receive signals. So the actual organ of the hearing is the cochlea in the inner ear. The cochlea receives the sound waves and passes them on to the brain. Sound waves are created when an object moves. So in the outer space, in the outer environment, any stimulus happen, then the sound wave will be, so the sound waves will come. When the sound waves will come, the outer ear receive the signals and send it to the middle ear. Before you enter into the middle ear, there is a tympanic membrane that vibrates. The vibrations will transfer to this inner ear where the cochlea is there. The cochlea received these sounds and transferred it into the chemical signals, send it to the brain through the cranial nerve, so that the cochlea is the main part in the hearing. So the next one is the volume or loudness of a sound is determined by the sound pressure level. The higher this is, the louder the sound is. The sound pressure level is measured in decibels, which we also say that that's a dB or decibel. The word decibel came from the deci, meaning 1/10. And the name of the man who invented the decibel unit, Alexander Graham Bell, is the one who started measuring the sound in decibels. So here I have a little diagram to explain how the hearing mechanism works. Here this is the outer ear. You see the kind of antenna, outer part, which receive the signals that pass on to the middle ear, where you see the eardrum or tympanic membrane. That vibrate and signal is sending over to the inner ear. When inner ear go inside, the noise go into the inner ear, there is a cochlea, is the inner ear part. When the cochlea has attached to the auditory nerve where they take to the brain, so that the outer side from the sound come to the outer ear, pass through the middle ear, go into the inner ear, cochlea translated the signals to the auditory nerve where the brain will receive the signal. This is the mechanism of the ear. The scale of the hearing loss. Here I put the scale how we measure the hearing loss. 10 to 15 decibels is a normal hearing. If any time you receive the signal, sound waves is between the 10 to 15 decibels, we can hear that sound. That is called a normal hearing. If it is 16 to 25 decibels is a minimum hearing loss. 26 to 40 decibel sounds, mild hearing loss. 41 to 55 decibels is moderate hearing loss. 56 to 70 decibels is moderate to severe hearing loss. The 71 to 90 decibel is called severe hearing loss. 91 and above decibels sound is called profoundly hearing loss. So these are the different way of scales, how we measure, how we determine what kind of category or what level of hearing impairment we have. Here I have given some of the graph that telling that where we are and all that. If you see this, people is a vacuum cleaner is about 17 decibels, 70 decibels, where we can hear the normal speech range. The whispering is 40 to 30 range, we can hear the sound. If you go to the higher level, about 140 decibels, that is going to be real hard supersonic airlines that make the noise that kind of give you pain to the ear because they're too much noise for us. The types of hearing loss. There are 4 basic types of hearing loss. There are the 4 basic types of hearing loss. The first one is conductive hearing loss. It is caused by the problems in the outer and the middle ear. This type of hearing loss may be permanent or temporary. It can oftentimes be medically or surgically corrected. So the conductive hearing loss is talking about the outer ear problem. This sometimes may be medically treated. That's what the first one is talking about, the conductive hearing loss. The next one is sensorial hearing loss. It is caused by the problems in the cochlea or inner ear. This is a permanent type of hearing loss that usually cannot be medically or surgically corrected. So it's the word itself saying that sensorial hearing loss, sensation, his sensory nerves will be impacted, which includes the inner ear, the cochlea may be damaged, or apart from that, there is a cranial nerve that where we take that sound waves to the brain, the nerve will be damaged, which is not possible to correct it even with surgery. The next one is mixed hearing loss, which means it is a combination of conductive hearing loss and sensory hearing losses. There are 2 different kind of problems involved in it. Loss is a combination of conductive and sensory hearing loss. So it may or may not be treated because if it is because of the conductive hearing loss, it may be treated. If it is a sensory hearing loss, you cannot treat it. It is a combination of both. It may not be possible to correct it, but it's always wise to consult with the consult faculty to get treated or get the advice. The next one is central auditory processing disorder. Is a condition where the auditory signals are not passed by the brain. This is a strange kind of condition where these signals cannot be processed to the brain. The child can hear the sound but cannot understand what is being heard. So they hear the noise but they cannot comprehend what it is because of the brain cannot receive the proper signal. That causes to the problem. The child's peripheral mechanism are working, but the information does not reach to the brain in a typical or efficient manner. So some signals is lost so that they cannot understand what is going on. They cannot comprehend. Now the deafness means the hearing impairment so severe that a child is impaired in processing linguistic information through the hearing with or without amplification that adversely affect the child's educational performance. This is the ideal definition of deafness. What are the causes? There are different causes for this condition. What are the first one is infectious diseases such as meningitis. Meningitis is a viral infection that causes the brain damage or the neurological nerves damage will happen, which causes to the deafness. Now, auditory nerve damage by the mumps, meningitis, German measles, or rubella. All these conditions may lead to the deafness. The next one is inner ear infections, also cause to the deafness. Credit. Some of the websites that I have visited, this is ndcs.org, projectaudioonline.org, Wyoming, HDI, and all these kind of different kind of websites I have discussed before.